What's up, boys? Today we're just vibing, playing against some bots, just messing around with Pyramid Head, trying to get some of these rights of judgment strikes, you know what I mean? And I think it's pretty nice to play against bots because they're really good at dodging these things, especially Deathslinger shots, Huntress hatchets. Like, if you want to really get your accuracy down, play against some of these bots, man, because they're really good at dodging this shit. But anyways, today I want to talk about a topic, and that topic today is hard times. It's something we all go through, you know, and I just want to offer my perspective on hard times, and hopefully, you know, it'll give you a new perspective to look at your own hard times with. And, you know, I don't really mind hard times. I kind of enjoy them, you know. I kind of enjoy the general suffering of life, because during your darkest days is when you really start to think about and appreciate what you have, you know. Like, it's easy to not appreciate what you have while you have it, but as soon as you don't have it, you start to find a whole new appreciation for it. Like, if you've showered with hot water your whole life, you don't probably really cherish a nice hot shower. But as soon as that hot water turns off and you're forced to take cold showers, you're gonna be sitting under that cold water dreaming about those days where you had hot showers. You're gonna feel a way about those hot showers that you've never felt before. You're gonna have a whole new appreciation for that hot water. And when you finally get that hot water back, it'll feel so much better. But in the moment, while we have things worth appreciating, it's very easy to not appreciate them. Like, I want y'all to really think about what you have in life and cherish it for what it is. Think about what life would be like if you didn't have it. Like, if food is easily accessible to you, think about what it would be like to not know when your next meal is and to have to starve until that next meal arrives, whenever it does. Try to appreciate these things, you know what I mean? And that's why I value hard times so much and actually quite enjoy being in the lowest points of my life. Because the lowest points of your life offer you an appreciation for something that you can't get when everything is just dandy. So if you had a very low point in your life, I want you to think back to what you felt like back during that low point, you know? Because it's in our low points in life where we think about, oh, if I could have done this differently, oh, if I could have appreciated this when I had it, oh, I would have been so grateful for it, oh, you know what I mean? After it's gone, we think about all the things we would have done to keep it around, but we didn't when we had it. Because a lot of us wait for something to leave us before we finally start trying to keep it around and show it the appreciation that it deserves. People do this with relationships a lot, like they'll do the bare minimum until they get broken up with. And now that their partner is leaving them, oh, now they'll, you know, take them out to dinner and take them on dates and compliment them more and do everything they should have been doing the entire time. But it took getting broken up with and now no longer having that thing that they really cherish to finally do what they could have been or should have been doing the entire time. Because it's easy to forget how much we cherish and truly appreciate something while we have it. And sometimes it takes us losing it to finally grasp how much we appreciate that thing. And it could be all types of things, not just relationships, but, you know, like jobs and all types of stuff in life. It's really unfortunate that sometimes it does take us losing things to finally realize how much we appreciate them and how much we truly cherish it. But, you know, I guess that's just our human nature, right? Like, it's easy to forget, you know, when something is so accessible, we forget what life would be like without it. You know, when hot water or somebody we love is there all the time, we almost forget its value because it's always there. You know, it's so easily accessible. We just don't ever really stop to think what life would be like without that thing or person. And this goes for a lot of people my age. You know, a lot of people my age don't really hang out with their family or loved ones. They don't really cherish their company in a way I feel they should. They're too busy running the streets and going to clubs and hanging out with their friends and trying to move out really quick. They don't really understand that, you know, your family's not around forever. You know, when they're gone, they're gone. And you can make new friends all throughout life, but you can't make new family. So if you have family and loved ones in your life, you know, like, spend more time with them. Don't just always be on the game and doing all this other shit, bro. Like, spend time with your mom and shit, you know what I mean? Because she's not gonna be there forever. And when she's gone, when you're an old man, looking back, you're gonna wish, damn, I wish I spent more time with my mom when she was around and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Or whoever that person may be, you know, not everyone has a mom in their life, but just any loved one you have, you know, cherish their company while you can, because they won't be around forever. And I want you to really sit back and think what life is going to be like when they're no longer around, because there will come a day where you don't have that option anymore and you're going to wish you spent that time, you know. So cherish who you have in your life and show the people that you do cherish that you actually do appreciate and cherish them while you can, before they go, before they break up with you, before anything, you know what I mean? Like, give the effort now. Don't wait for something to leave your grasp before you finally start trying to hold on to it. Dude, is this window infinite? God damn. Dude just vaulted this shit 57 and a half times. What the? It's still not. Oh, okay. That's what I was saying, bro. I like how I said I was here to practice Rites of Judgment, and I've only used it like twice. But yeah, I just felt like ranting today. I don't know. I just kind of felt like hopping on here and running my mouth a little bit. But that's something I think about quite often. You know, a lot of people my age, they don't really spend time with their family and stuff. And, you know, it sucks. It really does. Because I know a part of us can't really imagine life without our families. Those who do have families or are very close with them. You know, like a lot of people can't really conceptualize life without them. So they kind of, you know, forget they're even there or their value in their life. And I remember back when I moved out, you know, I was in such a rush to move out. And it was so long since I saw my parents. It was months. And when I finally saw them again, I saw that they had like gray hair and shit now. And I could see they have like visibly aged over the time I didn't see them. And like, man, that shit hurt, bro. I was like, damn, all this time I spent away from them, I will never get this shit back. You know, all that time that I was, you know, sitting in my house alone, you know, just doing nothing, playing games, working, etc., etc. And they were just aging by, you know, and just time slowly slipping by, and that's time I'll never get back with them. So I made it a point from that point on. You know, I was always a family person, but after that, you know, I moved back in. I was like, bro, screw this. You know, I'm not just gonna let my family slip by me. I'm gonna enjoy their company, because my mom and my family, they're the closest people in my life. So I don't have friends. I don't go hang out with people. I don't go to parties and do all that shit. So I'm gonna make sure I enjoy my time with my family while I can. But anyways, I kind of strayed off topic there. I kind of tend to do that when I'm just, you know, like mindlessly rambling. You know, I'm not really using like my whole brain to speak right now. It's like 50% on the game and 50% like focusing on what I'm actually talking about. So, you know, excuse me if my thoughts seem very sporadic and random, but anyways, yeah, I want you to think, you know, when you're in a very low point in your life, I want you to write your future self a letter. Or maybe a future idealized self that isn't experiencing that hard time, you know, like a version of you in the future that's gotten past it. And I want you to convey that pain that you're experiencing, or the suffering, or you know, miserable feeling that you have. I want you to convey that in that letter, or just journal it. You know, it doesn't have to be a letter, just write it down. You'll track your thoughts. And then in the future, when you're past your low point, I want you to look back at those words, you know what I mean? And like really think, damn, like I really need to appreciate what I have right now, because there was a time, you know, I was in a very low spot, and this is how I was feeling, and I would have been so grateful to have what I have right now, and I really need to appreciate what I have right now. You know what I mean? Because it's so easy to lose that value and appreciation for what we have. Hold this. But yeah, to those in low points in life, I don't want you to just wallow in that low point. Don't just wallow in your misery. Actually try to sit back and self-reflect, you know what I mean? Because it's those moments when we're in our lowest points, we really see who we are as a person. That's when our character really develops. I've said this many times, hardships harden your ship. They define who you are ultimately. That experience of going through something very tough does change you when you get on the other side. You do come out of it a different person. And I would say, you know, it always makes you a stronger person, because, you know, that's a narrative that's fun to paint, because that's like the perfect ideal situation. But that doesn't happen all the time. It's all about how you perceive and process the situation you've just been dealt, because sometimes people just come out of it traumatized and just, you know, scarred from it. Not everybody learns the same lessons from a certain situation, you know? And it's kind of like the hero and villain thing, you know, like heroes are just people who have gone through pain and they don't want that pain to be inflicted on others, and villains are people that have gone through pain but they want to inflict that same pain on everybody else. You know, not everybody processes hardship or pain or trauma the same way, you know? And I think a way that would help you positively process getting out of a low point in life so you don't just come out traumatized is to don't use substances to overcome your feelings, but try to get out of that shit yourself, because then you will develop an inner strength, a mental strength within yourself that you can carry for the rest of your life. And once you've done that, you can truly look back on those scenarios and think, damn, like I really did just pull myself out of that shit. I did that. That was me. I didn't need, you know, alcohol or drugs to get my mind right. I did that shit on my own. And that's why I don't get drunk or smoke weed or do any of that shit. You know, I don't take any drugs, because I want to know that if I got out of a situation, even if it is like boredom or something, that I got out of that myself. I found the solution, the cure, you know what I mean? from within myself. You know what I mean? I was my own medicine. I created my own solution. Because when you always rely on substances, you'll become reliant on those substances. You know, I would always recommend don't rely on substances to heal. Okay, rely on yourself, because the solution is within yourself. Everybody has a solution within themselves. You should always try to overcome it yourself, and it's not always easy. It's usually pretty goddamn hard, trust me. I know, because I've never done it and I've gone through some shit, but it made me a stronger person. You know, it makes you more resilient. You don't want to outsource all your solutions for shit. You know, you need to create your own solutions sometimes. It'll make you a more resilient and a more self-reliant person. So you don't have to rely on other people or substances to pull you out of shitty situations or break you out of shitty feelings. You know what I mean? Boy, if you don't get your... Another thing about hardship is the beauty of the experience of it. Like, people can argue, oh, well, I don't need to not have hot water to see the value in having hot water or something, but it's not that simple. Because yes, you can obviously understand the concept of it, like, very clearly and objectively, but it's different when you don't actually have it. For example, you can conceptualize the idea of not having it, but you wouldn't know what it actually feels like to not have it. The actual feeling of having no options, the feeling of having to, you know, take a cold shower, a feeling of having no access to hot water. You know, you can't conceptualize that. You know, you have to feel it. You know, that's an experience thing. And that's why I think our low points and our hardships are actually beautiful moments. And they can offer you a whole new appreciation for things that you may start to take for granted. At the end of the day, I think the majority of our experiences in life are there to offer us new perspectives on the way we see things and ourselves and the world. But yeah, you know, I think struggle in life seasons us as people. Because at the end of the day, it qualifies as life experience. You know, like the way my parents raised me was very independent, you know what I mean? They just kind of let me free roam and just let me make my own mistakes, and their philosophy behind it was that, you know, I'm gonna experience life that way and it's gonna mature me. I'm gonna make my own mistakes and I'm gonna have to fix my own problems, and I'm gonna have to deal with some shit and learn, you know, the value of keeping myself safe and making smart decisions. Because if they were there to break me out of every situation I got myself in, then I wouldn't know how to get myself out of all the situations I put myself in life. Like, you know, as a kid, I never really had the privilege of living in that childish fantasy world. You know, I got broken out of that shit at a very early age. You know, like that pure and innocent way so many kids see the world, you know, it's so ignorant and bliss. I didn't really get to enjoy that for very long. I had to snap out that shit and, you know, see the world for what it really is and see people for who they really are and be exposed to, you know, all the negatives of human nature at a very young age. I didn't really get to live in that fantasy, you know what I mean? I just had to grow up, you know, like I couldn't be a kid, bro. I just had to grow the hell up. And this isn't to say I don't like my childhood or anything. I love my childhood. I had so much freedom. I could do whatever the hell I wanted. I was chilling, man. I feel like I experienced more in my childhood than most people experience in their adulthood. So yeah, I'm glad about that. It taught me a lot about life and people growing up. I got to see, you know, everybody's true face at a very young age. And so yeah, I always recommend that people, you know, get out there and try to experience life and the world, because, you know, it can give you a lot of unique perspectives and it can season you as a person and really get you ready for the world ahead of you, because the world isn't too sweet out here, you know what I mean? So yeah. Did I just get teabagged by a bot? Anyways, yeah, that was a lot of ranting off the top. I probably repeated a lot of stuff, and I'm gonna edit this video and look back and be like, dang, I should have said this. Oh, I should have said this. I should have worded it this way, in this way more intelligent way. But yeah, I'm just kind of recording and vibing right now, so hopefully you guys enjoyed.